This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 422 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are horselovers.com and you, our auditors. Our first couple as a listener highlight with Nick and Erin Hayes from Ontario, Canada. Plus Helena has exciting news. And our horselovers.com product review is the Gatsby 100% all-natural slow hay feeder. Listen in.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They'll bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
I bet you can't guess what Helena's news is. Take two guesses.
I'm so embarrassed right now, Glenn. This is major dork fest. I can't even talk right now.
Congratulations to Helena.
Thank you.
What's the exciting news? I couldn't. I was so dying to talk about it on the last episode we were together, but you hadn't told the family yet, and we thought they should probably know before the listeners. So.
A while back, Buck asked me to marry him, and I said yes. But we had absolutely no idea how, when, or what that was going to look like. That means
Helena had to get the prenup in order and the contingencies all in place.
Yeah, he had to jump through a couple of hoops first. So we had been chatting about this sort of casually for quite a while now, about a year. And then we just decided over the summer we were going to do something in September, but all kinds of things just went haywire in September, and we decided, all right, let's just pick a day in October and make it happen. So we have scheduled Friday, October 7th, to have a small ceremony right downtown Newport, right in the center of everything in Queen Square. Yep.
Oh, good. It's just going to be a couple of family and that kind of thing?
Just very small, just Buck and I, our kids, his daughter's husbands, and one of my friends, and Grace's best friend. That's it. So 10 of us in total.
Oh, cool. So are you going to buy a special dress and do all that, or is this casual?
No, we did not want this to be about that at all. Yeah. So I did get a new dress.
You've both done that already too. So
we've both done that already. And it's just that is so anti us. It's just so not what we're about. That's not to say that there won't be some very traditional things that we'll incorporate into our
cocktails.
Ceremony.
There'll be cocktails.
There will be cocktails.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did get a dress, but it's green.
Okay,
blue,
well, good.
Or green-blue. And I don't know, I'll probably carry some flowers and put some things in my hair. And we do have a wedding officiant who will do the ceremony for us outside. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. And before we actually get married, so we're staying in a hotel in Newport. We'll stay there for the weekend, and we're going to go to the spa in the morning, and have a little spa treatment, and then go to the hotel and get dressed. And then I actually decided to have my hair and makeup done.
Oh.
Because I'm a girly girl. If I'm not doing all the other big fluffy wedding things, well, I might as well treat myself to a little luxury. So I'm having a professional makeup artist come, and she's going to do my makeup and my hair.
And you both have daughters too, so there's got to be some frilly.
There's got to be some frilly frill. Yeah. And it turns out that the woman who's coming to do my makeup is a horse girl.
Oh, really?
The name of her company is Blush and Dirt Beauty.
perfect for you.
It's exactly
I can't
what
think
I
of
said.
anything better.
I'm like, perfect. She goes, I can go from boots to high heels in 15
We
minutes
need
flat.
to get her
Like,
on the show. That she
I
has
know.
some funny stories to tell, I bet.
She's great. So I thought really just that would be a lot of fun. And she's a small business owner in Newport. So we're just trying to keep the love within the community here.
Terrific. Well, congratulate. I'm so excited. You know, this audience, we've been on the air for 9 years plus now. This audience has gone through a lot with us.
Oh, please.
Your divorce,
Yep.
which anybody that's been around a long time remembers all of that time.
Oh, God.
And then, now when you met Buck, they went through that, and now getting married. And by the way, for new listeners, this is perfect. Buck is they're perfect for each other.
We are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it is very scary to commit to something like this again, not to commit to the person.
Yeah, well,
That's
you didn't
so
have
easy.
a very easy breakup and divorce either. It wasn't
Oh.
like it was easy.
No,
It
that
was
was a hell
not.
show.
Yeah.
That was most definitely a
Yeah.
hell show. And it continues to be hellacious on certain days. But so but I was married for a long time. I was with one person for 24 years. That's a really long time. So I take this kind of stuff very, very seriously. And I'm still a little shell shocked. I think for as long as I've been around and as much as I've experienced, I think I can be fairly naive when it comes to certain things. And I realized that over the course of the last 6 or 7 years. And so I was just afraid of committing to something as that naive person, So it took a lot of really deep thinking, but honestly, there is zero question in my mind that Buck and I are perfect for each other, not just now, but for the long haul. We're besties.
Hey,
I absolutely
any guy
adore-
that can be with you for this long and still want to marry you, I'm going to give him a high five.
You should give him a high five.
No, I'm just kidding. I would put my money, if I was a betting man, and I am sometimes, I would put my money on this marriage making it, and you'll live happily ever after. Because
I hope so.
Jennifer and I have known you a long time through both marriages.
Yep.
And the other one never was quite the loving, caring thing that you have now. So
No, and it's, that's not to say I'm a very forgiving person. So even if you can be a total,
yeah, but you don't want to live your life like that either.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
At some point, you have to say to yourself, am I happy? And what am I doing that's creating the unhappiness? And
yeah, that's not saying there wasn't something on both sides. There's always something on both sides.
There's always something on both sides. Own your part and be willing to forgive. But at some point, you can own your part,
and be happy.
No, I mean, you can own your part and things are still wrong.
Right.
And you have to say, okay, yeah, it's the other person. But so I think one of the things that Buck and I have promised to one another is that we will always, we promise to take a look at our part. If something goes wrong between us, the first thing that we're going to do is say, I really trust this person. They're important to me. They're my best friend. If something's wrong, how am I contributing to that? And then either, go ahead and fix that or acknowledge it. And then if you're the person who's not creating a problem, be willing to forgive the other person. Because, to understand that your husband or wife is not perfect. And you have to be willing to, you kind of have to be flexible.
The other thing I always say to young couples, is take a trip together. If you cannot travel together, you will not make it.
Absolutely.
It seems to, and you did that. You went on it soon after you met him. Actually, you did a trip together, and you came back and said, "Wow, that was so much different than I was used to."
Well,
because traveling together is hard.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I had never really traveled before I met Buck. Like, I think I went to Florida once. I had been to Bermuda on my first honeymoon. That was it. And so he suggested, we were barely going out a year, and he said, let's go to the Caribbean. Will you come to the Caribbean with me? And I said, sure. Okay. But I was afraid to fly at the time. And I had no idea. I didn't know what I was getting into. And not only did we spend a week in St. Kitts, which is way down there in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, we stayed in a cottage. We were not in a resort. We were not in a hotel. We had to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do either.
We rented a car. We were completely isolated. and we explored the island as if we were locals. And he took such good care of me. Like I really trusted him. We had the best time. We were incredibly compatible. And there were a lot of, when you do this sort of self-care travel, there can be some bumps. And there were just no bumps in between us. And we were like, oh my God, we just survived, 10 days in the Caribbean together. Okay, granted, that's not really that
the Caribbean.
difficult. It's right that difficult. But think about it. Like if you go away with somebody, you're right, and there's conflict, what's your regular life going to be like?
Right, because that's supposed to be the happy time where it's carefree and you forget about everything.
Yeah.
And then that was Jennifer and I's thing too. And, we got back from our vacation here and I just said to her, we were 10 days, and some of that in cabins that were pretty rustic. And I said, there's still nobody I'd rather travel with than you. I mean, we just, after 30 years, we just travel so well together. It was one of the things I really liked about her.
You guys are good. You're very compatible.
Yeah, we just like the same things. And boy, that's so important. They say, opposites attract. That's to a point. But boy, when you're traveling, you got to like doing the same things or somebody's always compromising. And that's no fun either.
A lot of people are under that misconception that opposites attract. You don't. You need to find somebody who's a lot like you because then you understand that person.
Well, and it just makes it easier. It's just going to be easier,
all the way around.
Yeah.
So you and Jennifer had just
we had a blast.
You just came back from your big trip to the
Colorado.
West.
We spent time in the Rocky Mountains. By the way, if you haven't been there yet, skip the island one year and go to the Rockies. You especially, I know you're an outdoor girl. We hiked every day in some of the most beautiful forests that you've ever seen.
Oh, your pictures were stunning.
Oh, and the views and just everything. The little town of Estes Park up there at the Rocky Mountain National Park entrance is just the quaintest town because it sits in a bowl. You come up over a hill and below you is this town that sits in a bowl and it's surrounded by the Rocky Mountains on all sides. It is just the coolest thing you've ever seen. And we stayed in a cabin there and we had a great time. We went into the we went to the national park every day. We hiked every day. Jennifer, before that, got to go riding with the listener. We got to meet listeners at a meetup at the Colorado Horse Park. That was fun. We met Mini Sarah, who, if you saw the picture, is really mini.
Yes.
She really
everybody's
is mini
to you, but she's super mini.
Super mini. But she's so nice, and her family was along, and we met several other listeners. Apparently, we missed a couple, too, that were there we missed. But we just had a wonderful. I love the state. First of all, we went from 95 degrees and 100% humidity when we left to reasonable temperatures, even 30s in the morning, but no humidity, and it was just beautiful there. They say fall's the time to go because the crowds aren't there, and so September is a good time to go. And the leaves were turning. Now their leaves turning is nothing like your leaves turning. They have the aspen trees.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, and they were bright yellow, and apparently it's only like 3 weeks. You get like 3 weeks, and the leaves are gone, and you're done. And we hit it to the middle, so they were all bright yellow, but there's little clumps of them, so it's not like in the Northeast where every tree is turning, because it's mostly evergreens. So it's a little different than there, but it's still beautiful. We went out with a guide who took us off-roading in this off-roading vehicle that was interesting, and he took us up to the top of what's called Lookout Mountain, where they have the oldest grove of aspen trees in all the park. And that was really, really cool because, and I learned that aspen trees grow in one root system. So it's one mother tree who spreads out her roots and then little trees pop up off of that. And that's why you always find aspen trees in a clump, is because it's all one tree. It's all,
I had no idea.
It's all one tree. So we got to see the mother who's hundreds of years old and her forest around it. So that was we learned a lot and we had a great time. I would go back there. We're really having fun. The last couple of years, we've kind of been doing our national park tour. We went to Arizona, and we went to the Grand Canyon, and then to Sedona, and then this year up to the Rocky Mountains. And I think next year we're going to go to Wyoming and all through up there. So we're kind of on our national park tour.
Okay.
But yeah, it was beautiful. The hiking there was I see why people move there, especially in the summer. I'm not sure about the winter, but I see why people move there
Yeah.
for 7 months of the year.
What was your cabin like? Was it?
Oh, it was rustic. Barely. We did have a toilet. And we had a shower that trickled water, and it was pretty small. It did have a TV that worked, but it was pretty small. If you wanted to eat, like they had a tiny kitchen, so we did cook the one night. If you wanted to eat, you had to eat on the bed because it was too cold to go outside. Your food would get cold. It was
I saw that you had jackets on. I'm like,
it was in the
barely
30s
September.
in the morning.
You're kidding.
No, it was in the 30s in the morning. We had frost a couple of the nights.
Were you surprised that it was that cold?
No, we had brought every winter coat. We had to, you know what we had to do? This is how much we don't have winter in Florida. We had to wash our winter stuff because it had dust on it. So yeah, we brought every winter coat and winter thing we had along, and it was pretty chilly the whole time.
Well,
Even during the day, it got up in the 50s.
Did you check the weather, or
Yeah.
did someone tell you to pack
No, we
up?
had checked the weather. And the altitude thing didn't bother us much. We didn't really have a problem with that. Jennifer had a blast riding with Betty Faye.
I was going to say, she must have had...
she was in heaven. That was her favorite part of the trip.
Some of those trails were really high up, though. Did she have any freak out moments?
Straight down. And this was a Missouri Foxtrotter that liked to walk fast. So, yeah, her freak out moments were the bridges, the narrow wooden bridges.
God.
And she had to get off to walk over those. The horse would have been fine, but...
Oh, that makes me feel better. Like I'm not such a scaredy cat.
And of course, Betty Faye just went right over. But Jennifer's like, I'm out, I'm off. But then that meant she had to get off and on a lot. So that was
so they had to cross a lot of bridges, huh?
Yeah, and streams and rocks and boulders and just all kinds of stuff.
That stuff wouldn't bother me. It's the heights. It's the up high, because some of the photos that you shared, you're like, wow, that's pretty close, and there's no fence there. There's no.
And that's how all the roads are. So you're on these switchbacks. That took a couple days to get used to, the driving on the switchbacks.
Yeah.
That took us a couple days to get used to. That was different. But yeah, so we had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Are you happy to be back in Florida now?
Yes, we're happy to be back in Florida. Yep, except we got off the plane. It was 95 with 100% humidity, just like when we left. So that part we really enjoyed about out there. But you get so dry out there. We're so used to humid weather that it's so dry there that your skin cracks instantly. And, you got to be used to putting suntan lotion on all the time, because that sun really is strong.
It's still strong. Even
it's
cold.
wicked because you're at a mile high. So the sun they say the sun is more wicked at those altitudes. And yes, it is. Plus, there's not a lot of, except in the forest, when you're down Denver, where it's in the valley there, it's in the plains. There's not a lot of tree cover. You're out in the open.
Yeah.
Whereas
would you go back now for a vacation?
Oh yeah, I would
as
go
a
back
regular
to
visitor?
Estes Park, especially. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. When we win the lottery, we're going to get a little condo there.
Oh, okay. So you really like that?
Oh, we just love being that close to the park, because it's 400 square miles. You could spend years and not see that park. And plus we saw elk and deer, and it was rutting season, so they were bugling. They make this bugling sound. So it was very cool. It was very cool. So we had a great trip. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to see pictures from your wedding. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That'd be so cute. And we're both of us, Jennifer and I, are very happy for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Now,
We're
do we
looking
have to
forward
get
to it.
you a gift?
No.
Okay, good. I'm just checking.
No, you don't have to. Just be nice to me for like 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, damn. I'll send you something, all right? You're going to get a big present, so I that'd be easier, probably.
You're going to have to dig deep for that one, Glenn.
I know. It's going to be so hard.
That's asking a lot.
All right.
Thank you for asking.
We are sponsored today, of course, by horselovers.com. You can find all of their terrific products at horselovers.com. Right now, they're having a preseason closeout sale on blankets. That's right, a preseason closeout sale, which I think is kind of ironic. But you go there right now, and you're going to find weather-beaded blankets on sale. I'm taking a look at the list here. A ton of different weather-beaded blankets on sale. They're probably closeouts from last year. And they're marked way down. I'm seeing tremendous savings here. So hop on over to horselovers.com to look at that. They also have a sale on Carrots clothing right now. So 2 of our favorite companies, Weatherbeater and Carrots, you can find on sale right there. Winter is coming, maybe not in some parts like here in Florida, but when we were in Denver, it was 30 degrees in the morning, and I could not believe the number number of horses we saw in the mountains of the Rockies. There were tons of horses out there. They're never going to listen to our show because they have no internet or cell phone. But they do need blankets, so you can find those for your complete winter selection. If you're looking at what you're going to buy now, head over to horselovers.com for all of your blanket needs for the wintertime. And of course, Horse Lovers has been providing all the products that we review this year on the show. Now we're going to go, well, let's just cue the music for our listeners of the week.
It is the year of the listener. And now, our Stable Scoop listener of the week.
Well, we're very excited today for our listener of the week to actually have listeners of the week. It's our first couple that we've had on here this year, and I'm happy to say that they're both auditors. They both pay to be part of the auditor group. And you know, it doesn't usually work that way, guys. We have Nick and Erin Hayes on here. With podcasts, usually the husband listens to their podcast, the wife listens to theirs, and they don't usually meet in the middle. So I'm very happy to have you both.
We're happy to be auditors. We're happy to be listeners. You have a great shows.
Well, thank you so much. So you guys live in Ontario, Canada. So you're representing Canada, all of Canada right now?
Yes.
No pressure or anything like that.
But Erin's a Canadian American. She's a dual citizen, so she's representing both countries.
Yeah, there you go.
Erin, were you born in
Awesome.
Canada or born in America?
I was born in Canada. My mom was landed immigrant, and she's American. Lived in the States until she was almost 35. So we gained citizenship through her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So what kinds of things do you do in Bell River that are not horsey? See, Glenn, I switched it up a little bit there.
What's not horsey?
Like,
well,
what's Bell River known for exactly?
Well, we're on the water. We're a water community.
Okay.
We're on Lake St. Clair, and we're near Lake Erie, and then not too far from Lake Huron also. We're directly across from Michigan and Detroit, Michigan, to be exact.
Oh gosh, I think I've seen you from I don't know. I think I was where was I? I was eating at a restaurant, looking out the window, and my future
So
sister-in-law said, "That's Canada."
Yeah.
I was like, "Right there? Like I could swim to Canada?"
Oh yeah, across the Detroit River, not far. Yeah, so we're a huge boating community. You know, I guess I don't know.
You know what I heard?
That's funny when you said you're surrounded by all kinds of water, and the fact that you're close to a city. There's a lot of stuff to do. Like you're not out in the backwoods somewhere.
Oh no,
not
we're
at all.
15 minutes from the Detroit-Windsor border. So
Okay.
we don't like to consider ourselves city people. We're on the outskirts, but yeah, we can drive into the city and we get the benefits of Windsor, Canada, and Detroit, Michigan. So we get double the concerts, double the fun sort of deal. Everything's double around here.
Yeah.
See, that tells you how dense I am. I think Canada, and all I think about is trees
And elk.
And
And
polar
wildebeest.
bears and
Yeah,
emus.
and moose.
like all of Canada is Saskatchewan.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, all I heard in all of that was 1,000 inches of snow a year. That's what
Yeah.
I heard.
No, we don't go to work on dog sleds.
You should. You should. If I had to leave my property, my farm to go to work, I would ride my horse there.
So we live at the southernmost tip of Canada. So it is extremely you're from Florida, Glenn. I mean, Michigan's cold to you, but to Canadians, Windsor, Ontario is warm. So
Oh, there you go. So you live in the Florida of Canada.
yes, we do. I was going to say that to you.
Well,
And
now
in Essex
I bet you
County's peninsula.
I bet you we still have more interesting big spiders and bugs than you guys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now, who was the horse person first?
Actually, we blame our 10-year-old son.
Oh,
Because he became interested in it and started taking lessons, and I would go and sit and watch him. And like we all know, that passion inside me was sparking. And as I sat there, I just wanted to learn more. So then I kind of convinced Nick that it's such a wonderful hobby and passion. So that's kind of the way it happened. Was first our son Gage started taking lessons for a few years, and then I started.
And then we bought a horse.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really haven't looked back at all.
No.
It's been awesome.
So this is truly a family horse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to read the description of your horse that you wrote to Glenn because I love it. It's so succinct, and yet it really sums up everything that makes us fall in love with horses. You said, yes, we own one horse named Vermont, who is a 12-year-old Anglo mare. She is extremely intelligent, has a kind eye, gentle disposition, is well trained, and keeps us on our toes. We all ride her in our family, and she takes care of all of us. That made my heart swell. It just, that is
She's
such
a gem.
You are so lucky.
She's like the unicorn. You know, you think Anglo mare, Arabian thoroughbred, and everyone cringes. But, she is the sweetest little girl. And if Erin gets on her, she's got one, disposition. If I get on her, she has another. And then we put our 10-year-old and our 5-year-old on her, and she turns into like a schooling pony. She just, we're very, very lucky to have found that horse. Yeah.
That's very cool. And I looked at her picture. She's so cute too.
Yeah.
She's wicked cute. But, too, having a loving family around her also will bring out the best in a horse, Oh,
absolutely.
Yes.
We have another horse. I ride a different horse. Vermont's, I'm kind of on the fringe of the size for riding her. So, luckily our good friends, the hunters at the barn where we ride, let me ride their, thoroughbred Simon. So he's a 21-year-old retired thoroughbred, and he's the same thing, just a big puppy dog. So,
and I see on your Facebook page there's somebody jumping too.
Yeah, Gagey. Our little guy.
Really? Is that him jumping?
Yeah, that's him jumping.
Wow. And you have 2 kids?
Yeah.
Is the other one interested in horses at all?
He is. He's 5, and every time we put him on Vermont, she listens very well to him. And he has no fear, though. So he just keeps saying, I want to gallop. I want to gallop. So it just makes me a little bit nervous. So we're just taking it slow with Rowan. But
I have a Hackney pony that one would love.
So he's got the same disposition as your Hackney pony.
Yes.
That'd be a perfect match. Those two.
Yes.
I think that's what Hackney ponies were made for, is children like that.
He is that kid, that's for sure.
I need a new bumper. I need a that kid bumper now.
Yeah.
So now, Nick, you like to jump, but Erin likes dressage.
Yeah. I'm the adrenaline junkie. I came out of drag racing, so I gave up drag racing to ride horses. So I like
that's our quote of the week right there.
Yeah,
Glenn.
that's right. There's our quote of the week.
Yeah, and Erin is super, super technical. She's very disciplined, and she likes that side of it. So I'm the guy that'll jump on the horse and just gallop across a field and look like I'm about to fall off. And Erin's the one that gets on the horse and just looks perfect.
Now we know where your younger son gets it from.
And Vermont is kind of, she can kind of do it all. So that's what we mean when she's, Nick will get on her and she can do what he asks. And then I get on her and I'm working on more flat work and dressage. And she also does that. She's very well trained. So it's great. She's very flexible.
This is so cool. And I love the fact that neither one of you were horsey to begin with. We don't get that too often, do we, Helena?
But no, what I was thinking is having sat for hours and hours and hours watching Grace's riding lessons when she was little, and all the moms and dads who would sit along with me, they were so interested and so fascinated by what was going on. And you can just feel that desire burning in them. Like they would really love to try this. And, there's more than a few parents who kind of live vicariously through their kids. They want to ride, but for some reason they think they can't or they shouldn't, so that, they plop their kids into it. But I was always amused and enthused by this feeling like we should have a program for parents, like a lesson program just for the parents who want to try it.
Well, we used to say that we, as parents, could get together and go take lessons as long as, we'd have wine there. So we could do like a wine and ride type lesson for the moms.
Starting at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I should drink some wine before I do my dressage test. That would probably help a lot.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Mimosas for everybody.
Yeah, I can't find X anyway, so I might as well just drink a little.
Right,
We all need to trust our horses more. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that is very cool. We have such a variety of listeners, and I don't know if you guys have been listening to all the listeners this year, but it's just all. I have other podcasters ask me, they talk about who your avatar is, and the word avatar, they mean who is your listener that represents, 80% of your listeners. We don't have that.
No, there's I can't believe the variety in people, especially getting on that auditor page. There's just the variety is huge. Every discipline of riding, every type of person, every age.
Yeah.
We do need a lot of more men.
Yeah, we're working on that. We got more men coming on.
I'm calling it the Glen Army.
That's right. It's pretty small right now, but we have more of a platoon than an army. But
once Buck becomes part of the family, he gets auditor privileges. So
that's right.
We'll get him in. He'll add a little testosterone to the
even
group.
if we have to get him married in, we'll do something. Yeah. Well, that's very cool, guys, and thank you so much for listening. How did you find us in the first place?
You know what? It was out of boredom. I work really, really long night shifts as a quality engineer here in the city. And, I get sick of music. So I started listening to podcasts. And then, you get a horse, and I'm an info junkie. So I want info. I want to learn. So I started I actually Googled it, and I found you guys. And I was very amazed with the amount of content that you have. Because I've never seen a podcast with or like a group of podcasts with so much content and information. So
5,000 episodes.
Yeah, I tell you, my internet provider's getting sick of me because I keep downloading all the old ones and 10 shows a night at work. So.
Well, and you guys listen to Horses in the Morning and Scoop and Healthy Critters. I see here too.
Well, I listen to almost every one of them.
Do you? Okay.
Once you find a network of podcasts or a host, a series that sort of fit, you love them no matter what. They can talk about anything. The content can be, can go all over the place, but there's the way it's delivered, Glenn.
Yeah.
I think I'm the same way.
I also race sailboats. I don't know if you knew that, Helena. So I'm listening to that Newport show now too.
Oh, there you go. Yay.
Gosh, you guys have got to take a trip out here. Bring the kids. We can pitch up.
Sailing and riding.
Oh my gosh, yes. We're going to be Buck and I are going to be taking our first sailing lesson, hopefully very soon before the weather turns too cold. But
that's awesome.
We're like, I'd be very interested to hear how you find the time to be a family man.
The first thing I thought of is
ride.
He picked the two most expensive sports there are.
Well, no, see, if you do it right, you crew on other people's sailboats and it doesn't cost you anything.
See, that's what I want to do is crew on other people's sailboats. I got to learn how to not puke over the back first. All right.
Yeah, Lena has this
I've
problem.
heard that episode.
Yeah. We were talking to people. We covered the boat show here in Newport this past week. And at the press conference, there was a couple who have a magazine called Catamaran Guru. And they're from South Africa. And they run their business out of Miami. So we said, well, how did they go back and forth between South Africa and Florida? He said, well, how do you move your boats back and forth? And they said, we sail them. Oh, and I'm looking at these people and I'm thinking, you sail by yourselves across the ocean like that? Wow. That would intimidate me so bad.
I could never do that.
And the woman was like,
I sailed across Lake Huron and that was enough.
It's right.
Yeah.
And so imagine from South Africa to Florida. And then the woman said to me, she goes, you ride a 1,200-pound animal through the woods. She goes,
I don't know. I'll take the animal over the ocean.
So me too. I'm with you on that one, Glenn.
The ocean's so unpredictable.
Yes, that's what I
Oh, and a thoroughbred mare isn't?
That's the similarities between riding horses and sailing. You know, you're trying to harness nature, and you know, there's really no brake pedal.
Yeah,
No,
but if
the-
I
you know what
fall
the brake
off,
pedal is?
I am.
Respect and understanding.
If I
Yes.
fall off, I'm within a mile of somebody else, not 1,000 miles of somebody else.
I guess.
Yeah. There ain't no helicopter coming out to get me in the middle of the ocean during that hurricane. So,
But when you fall off your boat, it sure doesn't hurt as bad.
No, that's for sure.
all right, we have to go into the rapid fire questions. Are you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
All right, Helena, take it away.
All right, here we go. And whoever gets there first can answer. Actually, both of you. I want to hear from both of you, so we'll be quick. All right. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is pasta.
And mine's chicken wings.
Oh, put them together. That's perfect.
Add a few beers and we're good to go. What's your least favorite food?
Okay, so
Pasta.
mine's chicken
Really?
wings.
I swear to God.
Wait, Erin, what did you say? You didn't say chicken wings, did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, of course you did.
Don't even look at them.
You know, you guys didn't hear this, but before we got you on, we did the beginning of the show. We talked about how couples have to not be opposites and have to have things that they
Uh-huh.
they
You know
have in
what we
common.
end up eating is pasta, right?
Yes.
'Cause it's just, I got to give in.
I was going to say, it depends on who cooks, unless you both
Yeah.
do.
Happy wife,
Uh-huh.
right?
All right. What is your biggest equestrian or equine pet peeve?
I think that mine would definitely just be the barn drama.
And mine too. I hate barn drama.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to focus on the riding, right?
Right.
We had a lot of teenagers at our barn, and we always
So do
thought,
we.
and we always thought it was the teenagers that had all the barn drama until we really started looking at it, and it was the adults that were starting it all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm biting my tongue.
Yeah. The teenagers have enough drama in their everyday lives. Just being a teenager is dramatic enough. I promise you, they go to the barn just to relax. It's the 30, 40, 50 somethings that have, right. Okay. We should start a reality show, Glenn, The Real Horse Wives
Yeah, oh, there you
of
go.
Horse Radio Network.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the most terrifying thing either of you have ever done, and would you do it again?
Well, I'll have to say the most terrifying thing I've ever done is propose to Erin in the middle of a drag strip in front of I don't know how many thousand people and a TV camera stuck in my face. And of course I do it again. I don't, I don't know if I'd go out there and do that again, but I'd propose again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, we want to hear Erin's other side of that. Was it a surprise?
Absolutely. I had no idea.
And were you mad at him for doing it in front of everybody?
Well, I know because I'm the introvert of our relationship. He's the extrovert. I was in the stands watching, and he kind of red lighted it, and I thought, "What's going on?" And they stopped everything, and a microphone came out, and I was really shocked. They called me down to the track, and yeah.
Now, did you have any doubt there, Nick? Because I always wonder about that. And the girl really has no choice but to say yes in that situation.
Right.
I always wondered if you had a little bit of hesitation about whether she was going to say yes or no.
Well, we started dating when I was 19, and I think, when did we get engaged? We had been together a long time at that point, so,
all right.
You know, she pretty much put up with me that long. She was
stuck with you then. Yeah.
That's a great story. I like that. So, Erin, would that count as your most terrifying thing?
I think my most terrifying thing is to be interviewed for a radio segment.
Oh, there's nobody listening. We don't have any listeners. Don't worry about that. It's just us.
But yes, I would definitely do it again.
Okay, good. All right, we made it easy. Good.
We might just hold you to that.
Okay, sounds good. It was good. It was easy.
Now, if you could have a superhero power bestowed upon you, what superhero power would you choose?
I don't know if it's a superhero power, but, you know, the power of healing. You know, it's just I'm a big sucker for sick kids, and, you know, I can't stand watching the little ones suffer. So if I could have any power there was, I'd want the healing power.
Yeah, I'm with you. How about you, Erin?
Well, I think to fly, I'd love to fly. And sometimes when you're riding horses, you do feel that way sometimes. It's the same type of, you feel like you're flying. But I just think I would love to do that.
Mm.
Then you could fly Nick to the sick kids.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now that's a team.
There you go.
Well, that's it for our rapid fire questions.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And again, thank you for listening and being auditors. We really appreciate you. At this point, I always ask, what do you like the best about becoming an auditor?
It's the community. I love the community. Any question I have, I put on Facebook and I get an answer immediately. And, the information, it's such a great community.
It is. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're happy to have you guys. You are exactly the reason why the community is so great, is everyone who's so appreciative of it and so willing to be out there and participate.
Well, thank you guys for doing what you do.
Yeah,
Happy winter and all that snow. You can come see us anytime.
I think we're going to come to Florida and visit.
Well, if you want to become an auditor here of the Horse Radio Network, it's simple and it's easy to do. Just go to stablescoop.com and click on the auditor banner in the middle of the page. It'll take you to the Patreon site where you can sign up. It's all automated. It's very simple. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. A lot of our auditors are paying up to $25 a month, and we have little premiums that you get along the way too, like hats and shirts or whatever. You can find all of that on our auditor page. Plus, most importantly, you get the blooper reels, and you also get access to the Facebook page and the auditor community, which when I was talking to the auditors we were with over the weekend in Colorado, that was their favorite part. Like all of our auditors have said on the show here, they love being part of that community because it's so positive and upbeat, and there's no trolls in there. So it's true. There really isn't.
Trolls can't survive.
That's right. And they're not there anyway. I think if you're paying, you're usually not a troll. So that's that,
This is true. Trolls are cheap.
Trolls are cheap and free usually. So check it out there. We'd love to have you become an auditor. And I often forget to mention this, that 50% of the auditor's money goes to our full-time hosts like Helena. And she's been seeing that amount go up every month, and it certainly is appreciated. It's getting to be an amount now. So
I have.
Yeah. Yes, you have. You have seen it going up every month.
I have. I'm teasing you.
Yeah. And, that, and it's actually an amount you could go out to dinner twice now with that amount. So it does help. Every little bit helps keep the network going and the hosts going. And now it's time for our Tack and Habit Product of the Week, brought to you by horselovers.com.
For this week's Tack and Habits segment, we have Lindsay Helmuth. Lindsay is sort of special to the Horse Radio Network family. Last year, she was the big winner in the Radiothon Grand Prize.
Woohoo!
So, yes, our listeners win. It's not a big joke. It happens for real.
She's
and
evidence.
they still love us afterwards.
And it was a very excellent grand prize.
Yeah, you did all right there, girl.
See, this is why she's back.
Yeah, I did. Thanks, Horse Radio Network.
There was a lot of stuff. It was $1,000 worth of stuff. It was and you know what? We're working on a big prize for this year. So we're going to be making Radiothon announcements here, Helena, very shortly. I'm back from vacation now, so I'm working full time on Radiothon.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I got to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we talking about Radiothon now? What's Glenn is out of his mind. He's totally
It's 2
drinking.
months away.
I know. I was like, he's drinking the retail Kool-Aid. This is ridiculous. And then I just looked up at the calendar on my computer. It's September 20th.
Yeah, it's 2 months. It's literally 2 months away. Yeah, I got to get to
8 weeks
work.
away. So, duh.
I got a lot of work to do for Radiothon yet. So yes, Lindsay, we wish you the best of luck again this year.
Me too. Can't wait to see what you guys have up your sleeve this year. Really looking forward to it.
I can't wait to hear what she has to say about the product this week because
Yes.
I'm in the market for one of these. And the picture that we're featuring on our website is purple, which I don't know, seems to be my new favorite color. So I'm really interested to hear what she has to say about the product she reviewed, which is the Gatsby 100% all natural slow hay feeder.
Well, I did receive the purple, which is I kind of have a few barn colors, but purple is one of them. It is a lovely color. Well, I do really like the hay feeder. It's very easy to load. I had previously only had one of the old-fashioned kinds that
they just suck.
You get tied up in trying to just
Yeah.
get 2 flakes of hay.
Yes.
But this was so easy. It easily held like 3.5 flakes if you really stuffed them in there, and then you could carry them without getting stabbed by the hay. So that was super convenient. It's easy to anchor it to the wall in 2 places if your horse gets a little violent with it, and it flips. I only have it anchored in one place. It ties nicely around the other hay rack that's already in his stall. I just wanted a way to give my horse more hay options in his stall, because when I put them on the ground, he just tramples all over them and then doesn't eat them. So this was a good way for me to give him a few extra flakes to have in front of him.
So the holes are on both sides. It's not like one's, or is it?
The holes are just on one side, which I actually think I prefer, because like I said, that way I could carry it really easily without being stabbed by the hay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
And it's a slow feeder, so they're slow. They're smaller. Is that?
I guess they are kind of smaller. My horse seems to think it's a lot of work.
Well,
to get
good.
it out
That's
of
the
there.
idea.
So he always eats it last. But yes, if you have a fatty, that's definitely what you want. My horse needs more hay in front of him. So and I think in the winter he'll appreciate this more when he's in his stall for much longer during the day, and he's a little more bored.
Right. Okay. And at first I was thinking like, if long ago I had a hay feeder that had the holes just on one side, and my horse used to spin it around and around because it flips, and I thought, well, that's kind of, I would want to anchor it down so that he didn't have to waste his time, trying to fight to get the hay. But when you have a fatty, that's not such a bad thing.
And this one does have, it comes with one strap, but then and that connects on the top and closes it. But then there is also a D-ring at the bottom, so it would be really easy to anchor it to the wall some way so that it didn't flip over and over.
Right, right.
That's very cool, and I like the fact that it's bigger because, and first of all, hay nets are a horse husband nightmare. I just hate hay nets with a passion. Jennifer knows that if
I don't think anyone likes those kind of hay nets.
And and then you can only, if you're good, you can get a flake or two in before you get so frustrated you just want to throw it out the window. So I'm glad to hear that this one holds a little more.
Yes, and I've taken it now to 2 horse shows, and it's been taken in the trailer a few times. So easy to put up and down in the trailer with its strap, and it's just got a little hook on it. And I think we went 2 hours each way, and then he was tied to the trailer for a little bit, and there was still plenty left over for the ride home. So having the slow feeder in that aspect definitely kept him more entertained for the longer day at the horse show.
Well, I think I'm going to have to pick up at least 2 of these for my horses. And I can do that at horselovers.com. They retail for $35.99. And it looks like they come in 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, which is always fun. So I'm going to go get one of those, horselovers.com.
Well, Helena, before we wrap, I have a news story here for you I thought you would find fascinating. Do you remember, and I never got to see it, I don't know if you did, the war horse play that was in England?
I have not seen it.
And it was traveling around the United States for a long time, and we were hoping to get there, and we never did. I know a lot of our listeners saw it. Well, remember the one that was in England was the original one, and it was there for many, many years. Well, the war horse puppet, Joey, just sold at auction because they've stopped doing the play now. They've sold a lot of the props from it for charity. And war horse Joey just sold for £35,000. At a charity auction. The life-size horse puppet used in the play in the National Theater production was sold on September 13th and reached the highest price of all of the props, obviously. And it goes to a charity called Handspring Trust. And the charity inspires creativity, commitment, and innovation towards new puppet theater arts. So it went for new puppet arts, which Joey was, or Warhorse was kind of the one that introduced this kind of style with the big puppets.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at doing other things because it was so popular and so effective. Now, a fellow Warhorse puppet, Top Thorn, sold for £8,500. And Joey's foal, there's a story behind this. Joey, when he was a foal, they had Joey as a foal. Joey the foal sold for £8,000. And who bought Joey the foal was Graham and Rose Ward, the owners of the Warhorse Valley Country Park, which was one of the settings for the story. So, and that park is now visited by about 1,000 children a year, and it's a charity for Farms for City Children, which gives young people from urban areas a chance to experience rural life. And not only that, now they're going to get to see the Warhorse foal puppet at the farm as well.
That's awesome.
So there's so many cool things that have gone in, and the total they raised selling all the different props went to £68,000. So I'm glad to see something good was done with all of the props from that very, very popular play. So it's a very cool story. I wonder who doesn't say who bought Joey.
I know, I was thinking that.
Yeah, I wonder who bought Joey.
I would like to be that person.
Have that in your
Where would
living
you
room.
put it? I was going to say, where would you put it?
You need a big living room because that was a full-size horse puppet.
I'd build a whole nother story in my house, but I'd make it look like a barn.
You need a glass case. And kids, no, you're not allowed to play with that $35,000 puppet. You can see Grace and her friends riding it and jumping up and down on it. That's funny. So there's that story. Well, now you mentioned the Newport show, and you guys are going like crazy now.
We're getting there. Yeah, it's wonderful. The people in the community are really starting to, it's New England. So everybody gives you the side eye before embracing you. But once they embrace you, you're like family. So we're starting to feel the love more and more. And we're actually getting a lot of international listeners now because Newport is such an international, it's like on the world radar as a destination. And
well, look at Nick listens because he's a sailboater, and you talk a lot about sailing because Newport's kind of a sailing town.
We do. We talk about sailing. We talk about dining. We talk about. I always squeeze in horses. So
I assume there'll be an episode coming on a certain wedding that's happening in Newport.
We have. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We're going to be we're having our wedding dinner at a beautiful restaurant right on Newport Harbor, looking at the water and the yachts. It's called 41 North, which is gorgeous. So we're going to do a dine and dish not every episode, but the different segments in there. We talk about shopping, we talk about dining, we talk about things to do. So we're going to dine and dish about 41 North.
Very cool. And of course, you can find it at thatnewportshow.com or also on pretty much any podcast player. You're going to have it now, iTunes or any. I know I use Pocket Casts. It's on there because that's where I get it. And it's going to be on any of the players that you have out there pretty much.
Yep. It's pretty much everywhere.
So
it's pretty much everywhere.
That's cool. I'm glad for you guys. And you've gotten to do some cool things.
We have gotten some crazy cool things to do.
Dave Jackson does a show called School of Podcasting. He's kind of the god of podcasting. And he has a segment called Because of My Podcast. And it's things you've gotten to do only because you've had a podcast. And you're getting into that territory now where you've gotten to do things that you would have never gotten to do if you hadn't had it.
We were on a houseboat. We went to a party on a houseboat recently.
Oh, was that part of that thing that you guys talk about?
We talk about it. I am such a fan. It's the Yacht Me app. I am such a fan. I can't even, if you listen to the most recent episode of that Newport show, we go into detail about how awesome it is. But at first I was definitely skeptical. No, I think this is a really good thing for horse people. I think it's a really good thing for horse people.
And that's kind of the one where you go to a party with strangers and come out friends.
It could be strangers, or you can do, the ratio is let's say you have a barn, right? And you want to do like an open house. Let's say, I think every barn owner should have an open house once a year or once every 2 years, just as a good PR/marketing customer service thing. So let's say you want to have a barn party, 50%, and you want to invite 50 people. Well, 25 of those people would be people that you know, or 25 to 30 people would be people you're already friends with, your boarders, whatever. But then when you put it on the Yacht Me app, you open it up to other people who might be interested in horses or farm life, or maybe their kids ride or something like that, but that you don't really know. And they say, oh, look at this barn party. That sounds really interesting. And then they put in a request to be invited to the party. And as the party host, you can accept or deny them based on their profile. And then if you accept them and they come to your party, it's a great way, to meet prospective new students or boarders or clients, or to just make new friends. And everybody is so grateful to be there. There really isn't a worry about folks being on their best behavior. It's pretty cool.
And it's not, and this is not a dating app,
No.
Which is what I'm sure everybody thinks of at first.
No, it's a social networking app, but instead of, networking online, the technology is used to actually network in person. Like
That's very cool.
You get out from behind your desks and your computers and your phones, and you start having real conversations with people, which is my favorite part about it.
And how's it spelled funny? How's it spelled?
YOT.
M-E.
YOTME. Yacht. Me.
I got to look it up.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you, everybody. Of course, you can find all of our show notes at stablescoop.com. And you can find our app, the HRN app, on iOS or Android. Search for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and it's super easy to use. And of course, many thanks to our sponsors, horselovers.com, and our auditors. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. That's it, Helena.
We're done?
We're done.
Well, there will be more next week. Until then, happy scooping.
She's walking down the aisle.
Oh my God.
This is the cheesy. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It sounds so 1940s now, doesn't it?
that music is it's embarrassing. Like, it makes my skin crawl.
I know a lot of you listening have used this music, but it's kind of seeming old now.
It really is seeming old. It's out. I think that the wedding march is out. I don't know what. There's not going to be any aisleway where I'm going. It's just a big park.
Do you have a song?
We're not even what?
Do you have a song? Do you have a boombox?
A boombox? No, there's not going to be any music.
Okay.
Really.
All right.
All that there's going to be 2 cruise ships
Burp.
moored in Narragansett Bay. Yeah, that'll be our music.
Maybe Buck will have them so they can play that on the cruise horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Well, sometimes they have buskers. You know what busking is?
No.
It's that street music where they use like buckets and
Cans and lids and stuff.
yeah, and they make some really cool music. I mean, that might be
You can hire one of those guys to come over and hang out.
Yeah, and just throw a couple of bucks in their bucket.
That's right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.